My girlfriend said, "While you were gone, I finally got rid of that old junk car." As if it were a favor, I replied, "Thank you," walked into an empty garage, collected every receipt and camera clip in silence. Days later, she realized I wasn't the TM Trent, 28M, machinist at a manufacturing plant in Toledo. My girlfriend Cassidy, 26F, moved in with me during COVID about 2 years ago. I bought my first house last year, nothing fancy, but it's got 2.5-car garage and 2 acres. Perfect for what I needed. What I needed was space for my 1967 Impala SS restoration. Let me explain what that car meant to me. When I was 17, my dad sold my motorcycle without telling me. Just came home one day, and it was gone. "Needed the money," he said. That taught me something about protecting what's yours. My Uncle Jim owns an auto shop. He's the one who taught me everything about cars. When I found this Impala 3 years ago, rusted, sitting in a barn, barely recognizable, he helped me see what it could become. We made a plan. I'd do the work myself, learn as I go, and build something that was truly mine. 18 months of weekends, $14,000 in parts, paint, chrome, interior pieces. I had the body in one bay, chassis in the other. Engine was at my uncle's shop getting rebuilt. Every receipt documented, every part photographed, every step of the restoration recorded. Cassidy never liked the project, said the garage smelled like grease, said I spent too much time out there, said she couldn't park inside because of that old junk. I told her from day one, this car is non-negotiable. She said she understood. Last week I had to go to Chicago for work, 4 days, training seminar. Left Tuesday morning, came back Friday night. When I pulled into my driveway, something felt wrong. The garage door was closed, but the lights were off. I always leave the shop light on low, habit from working late nights out there. The driveway felt different too, empty somehow. I opened the garage, both bays empty, completely empty. Not just the car, my toolbox that I'd been building for 10 years. My parts shelves with hundreds of dollars of chrome pieces, gaskets, seals, hardware. My workbench with all the small components I'd been painstakingly restoring. The engine hoist, the jack stands. All of it, gone. The concrete floor had oil stains where the car used to sit. Outlines where my toolbox wheels had left marks over 2 years. Ghost impressions of everything I'd built my life around. I stood there for maybe 5 minutes just trying to process what I was seeing. My brain kept trying to come up with explanations. Maybe I moved everything to my uncle's shop and forgot. Maybe there was a break-in and the police are on their way. Maybe this is some kind of nightmare. Then I went inside to find answers. Cassidy was in the kitchen making dinner, smiled at me. "Hey babe, how was your trip? I made your favorite." Something in her voice was off, too sweet, too normal. "Where's the car?" Her smile flickered. "What car?" "Cassidy, where's my Impala?" She put down the spoon she was holding. Took a breath. "Okay, don't be mad, but I had it taken away. It was just sitting there taking up space. You were gone and I thought it would be nice to finally have room to park inside and..." "Taken away where?" "Some scrapyard. They gave me $800 for it. I put the money in our savings account. See? I was being practical. You scrapped my car." "It wasn't really a car, Trent. It was a pile of rusty parts. You've been obsessing over it for almost 2 years and it's not even drivable. I did us a favor. I had to leave the room. Actually had to walk outside and stand in my empty garage because I was afraid of what I might say if I stayed in that kitchen. 18 months. $14,000. Every weekend, every vacation day, every spare hour. The car my uncle and I planned together. The project that was going to be my legacy piece. She scrapped it for $800. I came back inside 20 minutes later. She was crying at the kitchen table. "You're scaring me," she said. "You walked out without saying anything. That's not healthy communication." "Cassidy, do you have any idea what you did? I cleaned out the garage. I made space for us. You should be thanking me. That car was worth $40,000 when completed. I had $14,000 invested in it already. You sold it for scrap metal prices. It wasn't worth that. It was junk. Old rusty junk that you were wasting money on." I have documentation for every dollar I spent. I have the title. That was my property that you sold without my permission." She started crying harder. "Why are you being so mean about this? I was trying to help. You never let me park in the garage. It's my house too. It's my house. Your name isn't on anything. And that was my car that you had no right to touch. It's just a car. You can get another one." That's when I knew there was no point in continuing the conversation. She genuinely didn't understand what she'd done. Or she understood and didn't care. I told her to pack her things and leave. She refused. Said I was overreacting. Said I was choosing a car over our relationship. I told her the relationship was over the moment she destroyed my property. She called her mom. Her mom called me, started going off about how I was being emotionally abusive by kicking her daughter out over garage clutter. I hung up. Next morning, I called the police and filed a report. Grand theft auto. The car was titled in my name. She had no legal right to sell it. Cassidy's family is blowing up my phone. Her dad called me a vindictive little man for involving police. Her mom says I'm ruining Cassidy's life over junk. Her brother threatened to have a conversation with me about how I'm treating his sister. Some of my friends think I'm going too far. It's just a car, man. Let it go. Make her pay you back and move on. But it's not just a car. It's 18 months of my life. It's $14,000 I saved up working overtime. It's my uncle teaching me skills I'll have forever. It's the first real thing I was building that was completely mine. And she threw it away because she wanted to park inside. My Uncle Jim came over yesterday. He didn't say much. Just stood in the empty garage with me for a while. Then he said, "You're doing the right thing. Don't let anyone tell you different." So Reddit, AIT for pressing criminal charges against my girlfriend for scrapping my restoration project? Her family says I'm destroying her life over property. I say she destroyed something irreplaceable, and there should be consequences. Update 1. Monday morning I went to the police station with everything. Title, registration, all my receipts, photos of every stage of restoration, the security camera footage. Yeah, security camera footage. Forgot to mention in my first post, I have cameras on my property. 2 on the house, 1 in the garage. Insurance investigator habit from my uncle. Always protect your assets, he told me when I bought the house. Best advice I ever took. When I checked the footage Sunday night, there it was. Wednesday afternoon, 2:47 p.m. to be exact. Flatbed truck pulls up my driveway. Company name on the side, Hutchins Auto Salvage. 2 guys get out, 1 older, 1 younger. They're looking around like they're not sure they're at the right place. Then Cassidy comes out of my house. My house. She's carrying paperwork. She walks up to the older guy. They talk for a minute. She signs something on a clipboard. Then she points at the garage. She actually points at my garage like she's directing traffic. I watch them open the garage doors. Watch them hook chains to my car. Watch them drag it onto the flatbed. Watch them load my toolbox, my parts shelves, everything. Cassidy stood there the whole time supervising. Arms crossed, looking satisfied. She directed the whole thing. Stood there watching while they took my project. Then she waved as they drove away. 23 minutes. That's how long it took to erase 18 months of my life. I have it all on video. Detective Martinez, older woman, been on the force a while, looked through everything I brought. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "This is Grand Theft Auto. The vehicle was titled in your name. She had no legal authority to sell it. What happens now? We investigate, track down the scrapyard, see if the vehicle can be recovered, press charges if evidence supports it. It's probably already crushed. Maybe. Maybe not. Scrapyards are required to hold vehicles for a certain period before processing. Depends on whether they followed protocol. She took my information, told me I'd hear something within a week. That afternoon, Cassidy's mom showed up at my house. Didn't even knock, just started banging on the door screaming about how I was destroying her daughter's future. I opened the door. She pushed past me into my living room. "You need to drop these charges right now. Do you understand what a felony does to someone's record? She'll never get a decent job again." She stole my car. It was junk. It was rusty junk that you were hoarding. My daughter did you a favor cleaning out that mess. That junk was worth $14,000 in parts and labor. I have receipts for every cent. She said it was worthless. She was wrong, and she had no right to sell my property regardless of what she thought it was worth. Cassidy's mom started crying. The tears looked real, but I didn't care anymore. She made a mistake. Young people make mistakes. You're going to ruin her life because she cleaned your garage? She committed a felony because she wanted parking space. There are consequences for that. She called me every name in the book before I finally got her out of my house. Threatened to make my life hell. Said I'd regret this. My buddy Mike came over that night. He's been my best friend since high school, works at the same plant. I showed him the footage. He watched Cassidy direct the flatbed crew, watched her sign the paperwork, watched my car disappear down the road. "Dude," he said, "that's cold. That's really cold. Her family thinks I should just let it go." Let it go? Bro, you've been working on that car every weekend for almost 2 years. I've helped you sand body panels. I've held flashlights while you crawled under the chassis. That wasn't junk. That was your dream. Her mom called it garage clutter. Her mom can go to hell. Tuesday night, Cassidy herself called. First time I'd heard from her directly since I kicked her out. She was crying. "Trent, please. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was worth that much. I thought I was helping. Please drop the charges. I'll pay you back. I'll do anything. You'll pay me back $14,000. Silence. I don't have that kind of money, but I can make payments, over time. And the 18 months of work? How do you pay that back? It's just a car, Trent. Please. This is going to ruin my life. I could go to prison. You should have thought about that before you sold my property. I didn't know. You knew it was mine. You knew I spent every weekend working on it. You knew how much it meant to me. You just didn't care." She hung up on me. Wednesday, Detective Martinez called. "Mr. Vance, we located the scrapyard, and I think you're going to want to come down here." Update 2. Drove out to the scrapyard Thursday morning with Detective Martinez. Place called Hutchins Auto Salvage, about 40 minutes outside Toledo. Run by a guy named Roy Hutchins, 58. Been in business 30 years, according to the sign out front. The place looked exactly how you'd imagine a shady scrapyard to look. Rusted chain-link fence, guard dog barking somewhere in the back, piles of crushed cars stacked 3 high, oil stains everywhere. The kind of place where you don't ask questions about where vehicles came from. When we pulled up, there were already 2 squad cars there. Backup Martinez had called ahead for, and I could see, way in the back of the yard past rows of junked vehicles, a forklift moving something large behind a pile of crushed cars. Martinez saw it too. Her whole body went tense. She got on her radio immediately. "That's your vehicle," she said to me, pointing at the forklift. "They're actively trying to hide it, right now, while we're watching." I couldn't believe it. In broad daylight, with cops pulling up to his business, this guy was trying to hide evidence. Next 20 minutes were absolute chaos. More cops arrived. Hutchins came out of his office yelling about warrants and harassment. Martinez showed him the paperwork. He went pale. They found my Impala behind a stack of crushed vehicles, still on the forklift. Hutchins had been literally in the process of hiding it when we showed up. "We got a tip yesterday that police were asking about a '67 Impala," Martinez told me later. He panicked. Here's the thing. The car wasn't crushed, wasn't even processed. It was sitting there, mostly intact, with all my parts still in it. The scrapyard was supposed to hold vehicles for 30 days before processing. They'd only had it for 6 days. Martinez asked Hutchins for the paperwork on the vehicle. He produced a bill of sale signed by Cassidy, but no title. The car was titled in my name. Cassidy had no legal right to sell it. Hutchins should have verified ownership before accepting it. "Did you check the title?" Martinez asked him. She said she was the owner, had the keys. "And you didn't verify that?" Hutchins didn't answer. Because he knew. You're supposed to verify title before accepting a vehicle for scrap. He skipped that step because $800 for a project car with good bones was a steal, and he knew it. They arrested Hutchins on the spot. Not just for my car. When they started digging, they found evidence he'd been accepting stolen vehicles for years. My Impala broke open a whole investigation. The car is now evidence. Can't get it back until the case is resolved. But it exists. It wasn't crushed. 18 months of work, still there. I sat in my truck in that scrapyard parking lot, and I'm not ashamed to say I cried. Thought I'd lost everything. Thought all those weekends, all that money, all that work was just gone. And there it was, sitting on a forklift, waiting to be hidden from the cops. Cassidy's been formally charged now. Grand theft auto, felony. Hutchins is facing multiple charges, including receiving stolen property and obstruction. Her family has gone nuclear. Her dad showed up at my work yesterday. Security had to escort him out. He was screaming about how I destroyed his family and ruined an innocent girl's life. My supervisor pulled me aside after. "Everything okay, Vance?" I told him the short version. He shook his head. "Man, that's rough. But you did the right thing. Can't let people walk all over you. Some people at work have been weird about it. Heard someone say I was going too far over a car. But most of the guys in the shop get it. They've got projects too. They understand what it means to have someone destroy something you built with your own hands. My Uncle Jim came by last night. I showed him the photos Martinez sent me of the car at the scrapyard. He studied them for a long time. Body's intact, he said. Frame looks okay. We can rebuild whatever got damaged. You think it's salvageable? Trent, that car survived 40 years in a barn. It'll survive this. That meant more to me than anything anyone said through this whole mess. Cassidy's lawyer reached out. Wants to negotiate. Offered to have her pay restitution in exchange for me not testifying. I told him no deal. She committed a felony. She can face the consequences. Her mom called me a monster in a voicemail last night. Said I was worse than any criminal for what I'm doing to her daughter. I saved that voicemail. Might need it later. Final update. Legal stuff first. Cassidy pleaded guilty to felony theft. Her lawyer got it reduced from grand theft auto in exchange for the plea. She got 3 years probation, 200 hours community service, and was ordered to pay $14,000 restitution. She's been making payments, about $200 a month. At this rate, she'll be paying me for the next 6 years. Hutchins, the scrapyard owner, got hit way harder. Investigation into his business turned up 17 stolen vehicles over the past 5 years. He's doing actual prison time. My Impala was just the tip of the iceberg. The car itself, got it back about 4 months after the scrapyard raid, once it was released from evidence. Some damage from how they transported it, but nothing catastrophic. My Uncle Jim and I spent the next 14 months finishing what I'd started. Last Saturday, I drove my 1967 Impala SS for the first time. I can't describe what that moment felt like. Turning the key, hearing that 396 big block rumble to life, feeling the whole car vibrate with power that I rebuilt with my own hands. My Uncle Jim was standing in the garage doorway, arms crossed, grinning like an idiot. "Take her around the block," he said. "She's earned it. So have you." I pulled out of my driveway slow, careful, like I was carrying something precious. Because I was. 3 years of dreaming. 18 months of building. 6 months of legal battles. 14 more months of finishing what I started. That first drive was only about 10 minutes. Around my neighborhood, through some back roads, nothing crazy. But I remember every second of it. The way the steering felt in my hands. The sound of the exhaust bouncing off houses. The looks from people on the street who stopped to watch a piece of automotive history roll by. I parked back in my garage and just sat there for a while. Engine off, hands still on the wheel, thinking about everything it took to get to that moment. 396 big block, numbers matching. Black cherry paint that took me 3 attempts to get right. Chrome that I polished by hand for hours. Interior I reupholstered myself watching YouTube tutorials at 2 a.m. Every bolt, every wire, every gasket, every piece of that car went through my hands at least twice. Took it to a local car show last month. Won first place in my class. Some old-timer came up to me afterward, said it was the cleanest restoration he'd seen in 20 years. Asked if I'd sell it. I laughed. Not for any amount of money. Work's been good. Got promoted to shop supervisor 6 months ago. Guys respect me more now. Not because of the legal stuff, but because I stood my ground. In a manufacturing environment, that matters. As for dating, I'm single. by choice. Haven't even tried to meet anyone new. Not because I'm bitter, though I was, for a while. It's because I realized something through this whole mess. I spent 2 years with someone who fundamentally didn't respect what I cared about. She saw my passion as an obstacle, my project as clutter, my dreams as inconvenience. Next person I'm with, if there is a next person, has to understand that my garage time is sacred, that the things I build matter, that you don't get to decide someone else's possessions are worthless just because you don't understand them. My buddy Mike jokes that my standards are too high now. You're gonna be single forever waiting for a girl who appreciates carburetors. Maybe, but I'd rather be single with my Impala than in a relationship with someone who'd destroy it. Cassidy reached out once, about 6 months after her sentencing. Email, not call. Said she was doing a lot of therapy and working on herself. Said she understood now why what she did was wrong. Asked if I could ever forgive her. I didn't respond. Some things don't deserve forgiveness. Some bridges burn completely. Her employment prospects are apparently rough. Felony on your record makes it hard to get hired anywhere decent. Last I heard, she's working retail, living with her parents again. Her family still thinks I ruined her life. I think she ruined her own life when she decided my property was hers to dispose of. The Impala sits in my garage now, First Bay, where the body used to be during restoration. I go out there some nights just to look at it, run my hand along the fender, remember all those weekends, all those hours, all those moments of frustration and triumph. I built that, with my hands, my money, my time. And when someone tried to take it from me, I fought back and won.